Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, REL reads rainbows. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow, REL reads rainbows. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, REL reads rainbow. REL reads
Well, hello, and welcome everyone to REL Reads Rainbows. Good morning, Grand Rising. I'm tired. I'm not even going to try to front y'all. It's been a long week already. I mean, it's Wednesday, so happy hump day to everyone. I hope everyone's doing well today. You might hear a little bit of congestion in my voice only because it is starting to be spring. Yay, I'm so excited. It is starting to be spring now so that I can start warming up. And that also means there's lots of pollen and allergies. So, stay tuned for videos on how to stay allergy free during allergy season, or how to combat your allergies free from toxins and chemicals and the lovely additives that the system loves to add into our bodies, but that doesn't actually help us. So today, we are reading Kings Dethroned, chapter 8. It is raining here, so I'm sure you guys can probably hear it. Whew. It like echoes in my little camper. I hope you guys can hear me all right. If anybody can't hear me, let me know. If you're not there to let me know, then oh well. I don't think anyone is really here yet. No worries. I'm going to spread this around a little bit more. Not really good at posting or promoting. I need to get better at doing that. Because nobody fucking knows who I am or where I'm going. So I've got to announce it all the time. I can't just show up somewhere and expect people to show up and be able to hear me. I do all the Facebook places. I'm going to do a couple more Facebook places. Share the link. Yeah, so I feel like Brian does this like early, right? He does this like Brian Stavely. He's got it down. I'm trying to get on his level. Hey Sherry. Much love, sis. Glad to see you. Glad you're here. Glad you can hear me. Thank you. Much love. I hope you're having a great day so far. It is raining where I am, and I hope it doesn't rain too hard so that you guys can still hear me. I'm sharing it on Facebook, and now I'm sharing it on, where is it? That Discord. Sherry, are you on Discord? Discord is a great place. I really do want to use it more often. Oh, I forgot. I have a place to put my stuff, which is up here. Up here. There we go. Sorry, I know you guys. I'm not talking right now. My apologies. I'm trying to share the I'm trying to share this link around. I apologize. Just bear with me just a couple of moments here. Let's see, where else could I share this? That's where I'm at right now. Oh man, I haven't been over here in a while. My apologies, guys. There's just so many places to keep track of. It's not even funny. So many places to keep track of. Do I get to place things there? Yes, I do. So main chat. Let's place that here as well. One more place. You guys are awesome for just hanging out with me and bearing with me a second here. Okay, main lobby. That is the main lobby. All right, just wanted to make sure. Yesterday. I always keep missing these damn things. Sorry. All right, so yay, we've shared it around. I have got my tea. I have some peach detox tea right here. I love peach. It's one of my favorites. It's too hot to drink right now. So in case y'all didn't know, we're going to read Kings Dethroned, Chapter 8 today. So we have already read the first 7 chapters. There is a video out there that I realized that I need to go ahead and update because we only read Chapter 7 that day and not Chapter 8. So really quick, short recap. Chapter 1 was talking about when the world was young and what happened 3,000 years ago. It kind of just starts out by explaining, the angles of a triangle. And it explains how this first guy... So I said, I'm just going to read this sentence from chapter 1. The idea of the universe was upset by Pythagoras some 500 years before the birth of Christ, when he began to teach that the earth was round like a ball, with the sun going around it daily from east to west. And this theory was already about 400 years old when Hipparchus, the great Greek scientist, took it up and developed it in the 2nd century. So this guy, Hipparchus, he took it up in heliocentric model and started to make some of his own observations that were not necessarily accurate. And then the next chapter was talking about Copernicus and Galileo and how they continued to build upon the same workings of Hipparchus, and then who was doing the same workings of Pythagoras, who was both wrong. So they're stacking. That's the 3rd chapter about wrong people. The 2nd chapter was about somebody's blunder, about how the distance from the earth and the sun and the stars is all made up and it can't work. If this angle and this angle are together. It's kind of mathy. Chapter 4 was talking about the giants of modern astronomy and how they continued to add to the incorrect information. There's a lot of stuff in this one. I'm just trying to give just a quick recap. It's been a minute since I've read this one too. What was this chapter about? Chapter 4, Giants of Modern Astronomy. Oh yeah, we talked about the law of gravitation in this chapter and how the law of gravitation does not make any sense and is a made-up concept with made-up numbers that actually does not have anything to do with the nature of our reality. So that was chapter 4. Chapter 5 was talking about the distance of the moon and how the distance of the moon was made up. And then chapter 6 is talking about romantic theories. This history of the evolution of astronomy would not be complete if we omitted to mention here the fact that though the French school of astronomers had been foremost in adopting practical triangulation, which is the real thing that we should be using to triangulate, the sun, the stars, the moon. It was not until the British took up the work in 1783 that the triangulation of the Earth was seriously begun. All right, so that gives you a little idea of what chapter 6 was about. he goes into detail about the third law of Kepler and how that was in or how that was introduced and how it was also fake, or it wasn't necessarily fake. This book is explaining how one incorrect equation starts everything off, and everyone just builds off of that one incorrect equation to create more incorrect theories or prove more incorrect theories, and just have more incorrect information. So chapter 7 was a galaxy of blunders, and I love the language of King's Dethroned and how it's just like, yeah, they fucked up big time. This one is talking about the wheel, the distance of the stars, and how people can see stars from different angles on the plane, and what that means in relation to the math that's, the heliocentric priests have come up with. So today we are going to be talking about chapter 8, which is labeled Mars. And there are a couple of pictures in here that I can show you. So I hope you guys will enjoy this chapter. It just depends on how long it takes me to read it. It's already 8:17. Oh wow. Let's get this ball on the road. So thanks for everybody for being here, and we're going to start reading. Chapter 8, Mars. Ideas that have been familiar to us from our very earliest childhood, which we have heard echoed on every hand and seen reflected in 1,000 ways, are tremendously hard to shake. We seem to love them as part of ourselves and cling to them in the face of the most overwhelming evidence to the contrary. So it often happens that men and women whose common sense and reason tells them that many of the statements of astronomy are as incredible as the story of Jack and the Beanstalk are still loath to part with their lifelong beliefs and suggest that, after all, the modern theory must be true because astronomers are able to predict eclipses. But the Chaldeans used to predict the eclipses 3,000 years ago with a degree of accuracy that is only surpassed by seconds in these days, because we have wonderful clocks which they had not. Yet they had an entirely different theory of the universe than we have. The fact is that eclipses occur within a certain exact regularity, just as Christmas and birthdays do, every so many years, days, and minutes, so that anyone who has the records of the eclipses of thousands of years can predict them as well as the best astronomers without any knowledge of their cause. The shadow of the moon at the lunar eclipse is said to be the shadow of the Earth, but this theory received a rude shock on February 27th of 1877, for it is recorded in M. Camille Flammarion's Popular Astronomy that an eclipse of the moon was observed at Paris on that date in these circumstances. The circumstances are: the moon rose at 5:29, the sun set at 5:39, and the total eclipse of the moon began before the sun had set. The reader will perceive that, as the sun and moon were both visible above the horizon at the same time for 10 minutes before sunset, the shadow on the moon could not be cast by the earth. And so here's the first picture diagram. So you can see the sun in the west, the moon in the east. There's the globular Earth. I'm talking about eclipses here. So going back to it, the reader will perceive that as the sun and moon were both visible above the horizon at the same time for 10 minutes before sunset, the shadow on the moon could not be cast by the earth. Okay, so to show you this again, So you see the sun and the moon are above the horizon. The shadow on the moon is already on the moon, and that cannot be by the earth. That shadow, look at how the earth is positioned. There is no way that this earth right here is casting a shadow on this moon right here. So that seems plausible to me. Okay. So Kamel Flammarion offers the following explanation, however. He says, this is an appearance merely due to refraction. The sun already below the horizon is raised by refraction and remains visible to us. It is the same with the moon, which has not yet really risen when it seemed to have already done so. Here is a case where modern astronomy expects us to discredit the evidence of our own senses. Here is a case where modern astronomy, I should have been highlighting this stuff. But I can't because this is not my book. Let's do this one. Oh no. Let's do blue. How about we do blue? There's some great gravy in here. Okay. Here is a case where modern astronomy expects us to discredit the evidence of our own senses, but instead to believe their impossible theories. This atmospheric refraction is supposed to work both ways and defy all laws. It is supposed to throw up an image of the sun in the west, where the atmosphere is warm, and at the same time to throw up an image of the moon in the east, where it is cool. It is absurd. It is absurd. You hear this, man? When speaking in the measurement of the distance of Mars by Sir David Gill in the same year, 1877, Sir Norman Lockyer described it as one of the noblest achievements in astronomy, upon which depends the distance to and the dimensions of everything in the firmament except the moon. Ooh, everything in the firmament except the moon. Evidently, a very big thing, worthy of our best attention. The method which Sir David Gill used was the I've seen this word before. We've run into this word before. Diurnal method of measurement by parallax, which we have dealt with in an earlier chapter. Yes, we did deal with it, and I stumbled over that word then, just like I'm stumbling over it now. He adopted the suggestion made by Dr. Halley and took the two observations to Mars himself at Ascension Island in the Gulf of Guinea. The Gulf of Geneva? Guinea. The Gulf of Guinea. Is Guinea a place? Is somebody there? Y'all know, is Guinea a place? The Gulf of Guinea. Guinea? Whatever. The prime object of the expedition was really to find the distance to the sun, though we remember that had been done by Ecning 50 years before by the transit of Venus, which was to be done by first measuring the distance to Mars, and having found that, by multiplying the result by 2,000. We're multiplying the result by 2.6571, roughly 3, as suggested by Kepler's theory of the relative distances of the Sun, Earth, and planets in this manner. Distance to Mars is... So, let me see. The distance to Mars, according to this man that he made up, is 35,000,000 times 2.675, which equals 93 million miles. So the Mars is 93 million miles, according to this dude, away. Just like the sun is 93 million miles away, according to, modern astronomy. That's interesting. That is interesting. Oh, sorry, guys. Hold on. All right. Y'all still with me? Sherry, thanks for being here. I hope you're having a good morning. I already said that. I can't see who else is here. Let me pull up. I need to pull up YouTube on my phone. Well, I can't really see who's on my phone either. Who else is here? Pull it out over this way. Oh, hey, Mr. Super Sidewinder. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for stopping by and having a chat with me. Don't forget to hit the likes up button, you guys, if you are here. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. She said she loves my readings. I hope so. I stumble over words, but hey, that makes us more human, right? More relatable, because we're not perfect. Anyway. All right, so I just got finished saying how this guy said that the distance to Mars was 93 million miles away. And the Encyclopedia Britannica tells us that the sun's distance is the indispensable link which connects. We were just talking about Mars. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because you started talking about the sun. Okay, so he says the sun's distance is the indispensable link which connects terrestrial measures with all celestial ones, those of the moon alone excepted, hence the exceptional pains taken to determine it. And he assures us later that the first really adequate determinations of solar parallax were those of Sir David Gill, the result of 8.80, and that he measures have never been superseded. So, the sun's distance is the indispensable link which connects all of the measurements on Earth to all of the celestial measurements, except for the moon. And that's why that we have to figure out what the determination of the moon is. And that Sir David Gill found out 8.80 degrees. I guess that's what 8.80 degrees is. He found the angle of parallax of Mars to be about 23, which made its distance to be 35 million miles, and this multiplied by 2.6571 showed the sun to be 93 million miles in the opposite direction. What? We realize that although the sun's distance is said to be the indispensable link, it depends upon the measurement to Mars, so that this is indispensable still, so that it is more indispensable still. It is the key to all the marvelous figures of astronomy, and for that reason, we will give it special treatment. Lord mercy. The figure 35 million miles depends upon the angle at the planet, which is an angle of parallax. That is, the apparent change in the direction of Mars to the right or left of the star That is the apparent change in the direction of Mars to the right or left of the star X, which is the star of reference, when both are viewed from the opposite ends of a baseline, which in this case is the diameter of the Earth. See number 15. Okay, so I'll show this. Let me read it first. Theory. If Mars is much nearer than X, where's X on this thing? I don't see the X on the diagram. If Mars is much nearer than X and both are on a line perpendicular to the center of the Earth, an observer at A will see the planet to the left or east of the star, but while B will see it to the right or west of the star. East and west are local terms and change with the position of the observer. The star of reference is the star of reference is presumed to be billions of miles away, so far away indeed that it is supposed to have no angle at all, so that the lines A, X, and BX are really parallel to each other and at right angles to the baseline, as shown in diagram 16. Okay, so no, I didn't show you diagram 15 yet, but that's because I didn't see where X was. So for diagram 15, it shows the star of reference. Okay, so we have the star of reference up here. Oops, up here. All right, and then let me see if I can find it. So we got the point A parallel to point B. Who can see, and B, or so A can see the star on the right side and B can see the star on the left side, right? And that's all that diagram says there. And then going to diagram 16. Okay, so in relation to the diagram 15, it says that the star of reference is presumed to be billions of miles away, so far away indeed that it is supposed to have no angle at all, so that the lines A, X, and BX are really parallel to each other and at right angles to the baseline shown in diagram 16. Even Mars is at a tremendous distance, so that the angle of parallax is the very small fraction of a degree by which the planet is less perpendicular than the star. So here's diagram 16. We haven't gotten to 17 yet. But you see A and B are parallel to each other. Nevertheless, did I say that already? I think I did. It's okay. Nevertheless, however slight the apparent displacement of Mars may be, if it is between the two perpendiculars AX and BX, the lines of sight AM and BM would meet somewhere at a point. So far, we have supposed A and B to be making observations at the same time, but Sir David Gill believed, with Dr. Halley, that he might take the two observations himself, the first from A in the evening and the second from B the next morning, allowing the rotation of the Earth to carry him around from A to B during the night, and that these two observations would give the same result as two observations taken by A and B at the same Greenwich time, which, whatever that means. Accordingly, he took two observations at Ascension Island, one to his east and the other to the west, and relying upon all the theories of his predecessors, failed to perceive that his second line of sight on the planet, he failed to perceive that the second line of sight to the planet was on the wrong side of the perpendicular and diverged from the first. So, relying upon all of the theories of his predecessors, he failed to perceive that his second line of sight on that planet was wrong side of the perpendicular and diverged from the first. The fundamental principle of parallactic angles is unsound. The fundamental principles of parallactic angles is unsound, while it is at the same time in conflict with quite a host of other astronomical theories, because the theories of atmospheric refraction, perpendicularity, geocentric parallax, and the aberration of light, combined with the use of sidereal time, all go to prove that every observation taken from the surface of the Earth to a star is exactly parallel with a line from the center of the Earth to the same star, and that B's line to X is parallel with that of A. Consequently, if Mars were on the line OX in diagram 15, we're going back to diagram 15. There is no X on this diagram, though. I hate that. Why are you going to say there's an X when there isn't one? Grand Rising, Three Fingers, great to have you. Thanks for stopping by. I said I'm not sure. They do so much double speak. It's not even funny. So, consequently, if Mars were on the line of OX in diagram 15, as Dr. Hanley presumed when he invented this method, it would be perpendicular to both A and B. Therefore, neither one observer or the other would see it as an angle at all, as shown in diagram 17. Okay, so we finally get to diagram 17. Okay, so here we go. This one, it says... So Mars is on the line of OX in diagram 17. Okay, so right here. And because it's on the line OM, that's Mars, the person at point A cannot see it, and neither can the person at point B because they're parallel to it. They can't see it. That's what they're saying. Well, let me find out. Let me refresh my brain and why he said that. Okay, so if Mars were on the line of OX, Dr. Hanley presumed that he invented this method. When he invented this method, that it would be perpendicular to both A and B. Therefore, neither one of the observer would be able to see it at any angle at all. It is not possible for any observer on Earth to see Mars to the left or to the right of a star that is perpendicular unless the planet is in reality reality. It is not possible for any observer on Earth to see Mars to the right or left of a star that is perpendicular unless the planet is in reality to the right or left of that perpendicular. No apparent displacement would occur, but the displacement must be physical, and so the theory of parallactic angles is exploded. So parallactic angles doesn't exist. That's what I got from this. Parallactic angles exploded. Yeah, my next project is to go through and finally make my compilation videos, education videos for people to like share, not just for me to read it, but actually to put it together. That's what I'm going to start working on today, actually, I think. Because this book, we need, I need to break it down even further because I feel like reading it sometimes is just not, I'm a visual person, and I would like to like literally with these diagrams, I want to be able to see A and B and walk through it while I'm reading it. That's why I go back and forth so many times. Okay, so moving right along. Do 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 do. Of course, there will be some ready to contend that Sir David Gill really did measure an angle. That is true, but it will prove to be an actual physical deviation of the planet from the perpendicular, which is a very different thing than an angle of parallax. Okay. So an actual divination of the planet from the perpendicular, which is a very different thing. Interesting. But it is believed to be a parallactic angle. But it was believed to be a parallactic angle. That is to say, it was supposed to be only an optical or apparent displacement due to the change in the position of the observer from A to B. Hence, a world of romance is built upon that little angle in this fashion. Angle of Mars, 23 degrees equals 35 million miles. 35 million times 2.6571 gives us 39 million. Solar parallax of 8.80 equals the distance of the sun. The sun's diameter is 875,000 miles. The weight is XYZ pounds. Age is 17 million years and will probably be burnt out in another 17 million years. 93 million times 2 is 186 billion. No, 186 million miles diameter of Earth's orbit. The distance to the stars must be billions of miles or even more. They must be a terrific size, and the Earth is only like a speck of dust in the Brogdanian universe. Brobdingyan. Y'all, this word is weird. I'm gonna type this in the chat. This is what it is. B-R-O-B. Where'd it go? B-R-O-B-D-I-N. B-R-O-B-D-I-N-G. No, I-N-A-G. What is this? That is interesting. This is what it says. A Brobdanian universe. I don't know. I don't catch that reference. Hey, Jess Palmer, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Grand Rising. Hope your day is going well. Yeah, so basically he's saying that with all of this math, with the millions of miles away, this is, we, the Earth, are just a speck of dust in this universe. But we have not yet done with that angle. Regarded as an angle of parallax and considered to be equivalent to just such an angle as a surveyor would use in measuring a plot of land, it was of course presumed that the two lines of sight converged so as to meet at a point 35 million miles away. All right, so we're on to diagram 18 now. regarded as an angle of parallax and considered to be equivalent to just an angle of a surveyor, as a surveyor would use on measuring a plot of land. It is, of course, presumed that the two lines of sight converge so as to meet at a point 35 million miles away. This, however, is a mistake. Okay, so this is a mistake because I keep losing my place. For the two lines of observation, when placed in their proper relations to each other and in the order as they were taken, should be as in diagram 19, which shows that they diverge. All right, so let me just show this. Oh, hey, Tommy, much love. Tommy, that flat fellow. I gotta email you. All right, I'm trying to like hold it up and like see what I'm holding up at the same time. Okay, so here's diagrams 18 and 19. The book is saying that the guy was saying that diagram 18 is how it goes so that eventually a person can see Mars. But they're saying that diagram 19 is actually how it would go. And I'm still trying to figure out why it says that. Because math and geometry and angles and stuff, this is out of my comfort zone, but it's information that we need to know, and I feel like it's probably also information that we have been systematically led away from, like just basically instilling fear of math and science into the general population so that we don't ever figure this stuff out. Anyway. All right, so let me read about diagram 19 again. For the two lines of observation, when placed on the proper relation to each other and in the order as they were taken, should be in diagram 19, which shows that they diverge. We will prove this in diagram 20. Oh, it's starting to rain a lot more here. I don't know if y'all can see outside that it's raining, and I have to talk louder, so if you can't hear me, let me know. Oh, I might be able to drink my tea now. It was super hot earlier. Oh, yes. All right. A study of our earlier diagram 6, which gives us a suggestion of a small section mapped out with dotted lines to indicate latitude and longitude in universal space, reveals the fact that 12 hours rotation of the Earth does not transfer the observer from A to the point B in space because, according to Copernican astronomy, the Earth is not only rotating on its axis during those 12 hours, but also rushing through space in a gigantic orbit around the sun at the rate of 66,000 miles an hour or thereabouts. And so when the observer takes his second observation, he is something like 750,000 miles away from where he started. He is at latitude G in diagram 6. So I'm going to go back to diagram 6 just because he mentioned it. I love these diagrams. Oh, yes, diagram 6 was huge. Give you a look at diagram 6. I'm sorry, and I'm closer to the mic now, so I'm probably super loud. So Mars travels along its orbit, and then this is Earth's orbit. So the book is saying that, you start here, and you end up here in the rotation, and you should see it in a different way, but that's preposterous. Preposterous. Now let us study diagram 20, which has been made as simple as possible in order to illustrate the principles involved the more clearly. Okay, so the letter C. Okay, the letter C. See, I didn't take pictures for this because it's Russian roulette. I didn't decide what I was going to read until this morning. So letter C is over here. I can't read at the same time. The letter C is used in this diagram to take the place of G in the earlier diagram 6 because it is simpler to describe the movements of the observer by ABC than it is by ABG, easier to convey my meaning. Okay? All the principles and theories of modern astronomy have been carefully observed, and the parallelism of the lines is strictly in accordance with the theories of Greenwich. As I anticipate that in the course of time a battle royale will rage around this question of the measurement to Mars, I wish to make it quite clear that diagram 20 is designed only to illustrate the principles. It is to clarify the whole proceeding so that the layman can follow the argument. If the Royal Astronomical Society have any objection to make, I will be happy to discuss these questions with them in a manner worthy of the subject. The discussion may then perhaps be more refined. Indeed, I foresee a very pretty debate. Wherefore, I advise them that I know that Sir David did not really take his observations with a 12 hours interval as supposed or as proposed by Dr. Halley, because it was impossible. It was impossible. But that he actually waited only 7.5 hours, hence my use of C in place of G in diagram 20, but that only elevates the discussion to a higher plane, to a higher plane, while the principle and the net results remain the same. I'm going to highlight that because that was the principle and the net results remain the same. In the appointed time and place, I will discuss the actual practice if desired, but here I am dealing with the principle and talking to the layman and the judge. Now let us get on with this diagram 20. The first observation is taken at A and the second at C. All right, so let me just show you that first. The first observation is taken at A and the second is taken at C. It was evening when the observer was at A, but it is morning when he arrives at C, so that his east and west are reversed, the sun remaining fixed far below the bottom of this page. Okay, so once more, diagram. You start here at A, and then you travel over here, and 12 hours, you're a different place, and your east and west are different. You're opposite where you were before, and the sun is way off the bottom of the page. The sun is at the observer's west in the evening and to his east in the morning, while Mars is in the opposite direction of the sun. In this example, I have placed the planet exactly on the perpendicular from A to the star of reference, thus A, Mars, X. This is the starting point or first observation taken in the evening of the observer's eastward. So here's A, and on the perpendicular line to M, so AM is X, and this is where we start at A and M. And that's the starting point of the first observation taken in the evening of the observer's eastward. 12 hours later, the observer is at C and sees the same star and the planet both to his west. But Mars is at this time not exactly on the perpendicular, but a very little to the left of the star. Okay, so Sherry, who are you talking to? Did someone been telling you that you need to not? I don't enjoy it. I would rather just rinse, oil pull, go from there. I don't enjoy the scrub, but I do the scrub and I use yogurt and regrow powder that I think it has been working. It takes a while for things to change with your teeth. So Cool. The rabbit trail. That's a book for another day, Sherry. I'm gonna read that book for you one day. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, so as I was saying, where was I? I will be disheveled until I have to see people. Exactly. Same here. The only reason I look decent is because I'm sitting here in front of y'all, right? And thanks to daylight savings time finally being over, we're back on regular time now because the rest of the world, didn't have to change their time. So now that we're back to the regular time and how things are, 7 o'clock in the morning is dark. Right, 8 o'clock in the morning is just when the sun is up. So I am getting up before the sun, which is against my religion, and I have none. So y'all, I must love y'all a lot if I want to get up before the sun against my religion to read to y'all. It is so hard for me to get up. I like my sleep, and I do not like waking up early, and I like my sleep. But I'm trying to change that, and I have to change that because my schedule is changing officially next week. So I have to get up at least 1 hour earlier for the foreseeable future. Oh, you go to bed when it goes down and get up when it rises. See, that's how it should be. That's how it should be, and I would love to do that. But I'm still part of the slave system, so what can you do? What can you do with the box of something? Oh, gosh. You guys. This is not much longer. We have like 2 more pages for chapter 8. I won't be reading for too much longer, so I thank you for your patience, for sticking around thus far. So let me, since I'm still paused here, Sherry is here. Let's see if there's anybody on Facebook. No, nobody on Facebook, but hello to Facebook. Much love to you. I can't wait till we can get on Rockfin or Odyssey or Rumble. I'm still waiting to get on Rumble, you guys, so you can go follow me there if you would like. I need to add that to my descriptions. I'm on Rumble and I'm on Odyssey. I just have to wait until I hit the 300 subscriber mark to be able to upload all the videos. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting close. Thanks to Brian. Oh my gosh, I have to be on Brian's show. I had at least 25 to 30 more subscribers. Yeah, it jumped my numbers way up. So much love to Stavely for having me on his Awakening series. I appreciate him. Okay, but I'm digress so much. Okay, so we were talking about this diagram 20. Okay, let me see if I can remember what we've done so far, and then I'll go back. So we started at A, which is here. A is parallel and perpendicular to the star. I can't do this. This is so difficult. Okay, so y'all can still see, but y'all can't still see. So A is perpendicular to the Mars and the star. So A and M and the star are the same. This is the Earth. The Earth, you start here, and then by the time you get here, over here to C, it's 12 hours later. And Mars is just a little bit off of the line of the star. So when you get back over here, just a little bit off the line of the star. Okay. 12 hours later, the observer is at C and sees the same star and the planet both to his west. But Mars is at the same, not exactly on the perpendicular, but a very little to the left of the star. The planet is not quite as much west as the star, that is to say, being to the left. It is to the eastward in universal geography and to the eastward of the perpendicular line CX. Universal geography. That's interesting. Now, if we were not particularly careful and had not this diagram to guide us, it would be quite natural to think that the first observation to the east would be to the left hand and the other to the west on the right, so as to face each other, so that any angle that might appear, such as an angle of parallax, would be between the two perpendiculars to the star. In that case, they would seem to be shown in diagram 18, but that is wrong. Referring again to diagram 20, where the observations were illustrated in the proper order as they were actually taken, and all in accordance with the theories of Copernican astronomy, we find that the angle of Mars is to the eastward. Y'all, listen, let me read that sentence again. Referring again to diagram 20, where the observations were illustrated in the proper order as they were actually taken, and all in accordance with the theories of the Copernican astronomy, we still find that the angle of Mars is to the eastward, outside of the two perpendiculars. This is more simply shown in diagram 19. A being the first observation on the right and C the second observation on the left. That is correct. So diagrams 19 and 20. Diagram 19 over here. So see how Mars is just a little bit off the line of parallel from the star? And then diagram 20, where C, where Mars is just a little bit off the perpendicular line to the star. Hey, Bad Fish Bear. Bad Fish Bear. Good to see you. In fact, so I did all that. Starting as we did with Mars on the perpendicular at A, we know that whenever we shall see it again, it must be to the eastward of the star, which marks that perpendicular, because while the star remains fixed in space, the planet is moving every hour along its orbit to the eastward around the sun, and so when we see it from C the next morning, it is as we have shown in diagrams 19 and 20. It has moved from the line AX to a position a little further east in universal space than the line CX. Whatever displacement there is outside the two perpendiculars, so that the second line of sight to Mars diverges from the first. Consequently, no triangulation occurs, and nothing of any material value is accomplished. The so-called angle of parallax was a displacement due to a real movement of the planet during the night. In conclusion, as AX and CX are one and the same perpendicular, and no angle, either real or apparent, occurs between them, the first observation AX and the baseline are entirely without value and may be discarded as useless. This leaves us with only the perpendicular of CX and the second observation, which proves to be a narrow inverted triangle from CX to Mars in diagram 21, where the displacement of the planet XM, hitherto known as the parallax of Mars, indicates how much the planet has moved to the left of the star during the night, while the observer at C is at the apex. Just that and no more. Okay, so showing you diagram 21. So we've got C here, A here. So we always start with A. When the Earth moves, when the Earth supposedly, apparently rotates, you end up at C. All right. At C, which is where we are on the parallel with the star. So the star is that little plus. So we are parallel with the star, and the planet Mars is eastward of the star. And that little parallax triangle right there is a parallax to Mars. And that's how it should be. I think I explained that way. So that was chapter 8. Chapter 8 was about Mars and the triangulations of Mars and how the predictions and theories of the guy who came up with the math for Mars was incorrect. And they even used, he said, I'm even using this still in with Copernican's astronomy. And you were wrong. Using your own math, you were wrong. You didn't do it right. So, I really, really wish that I was artistic as far as like I can draw and stuff, because I wanna be able to draw the diagrams and everything for my videos, because I think that is so important. I wouldn't be able to understand what you were saying if you were just talking to me, talking about AXC and the line of parallax and then the parallax to Mars and the divergent of GDPT. I don't know, like that. Don't talk to me like that. Talk to me and like a regular person, right? So I want to be able to draw the diagrams and have it like professional looking, they move and stuff. Anyway, King's Dethroned, I think, is a book that we all need to read. There are not too many more chapters. I think we might actually be halfway through this book. Let me see. King's Dethroned. Let's see. We were just at Mars. There it goes. Chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, no. We've got a couple more. Though the chapters are weirdly broken up in this. Anyway. Thanks for stopping by, guys. What'd you think? Did anybody keep up with that? Anybody have anything that they want to share about the Mars chapter, or put in their 2 cents? Because I know while I'm reading, I don't really look at the chat. I'm not gonna read another chapter. I'm just gonna read this one for today and try to get a couple more things done. It's still raining outside. So Three Fingers, Badfish Bear, Sherry, Tommy, That Flat Fellow, you guys are still around. Jess Palmer, Mr. Super Sidewinder, thanks for stopping by, family. I appreciate it. Next Wednesday we'll be here, same time, I believe. Actually, like I said, so my schedule is changing because I officially got put into the position that I've been in for the past 9 months. So I get the official schedule, so I have to go in an hour earlier. And so I don't know how that's going to affect my reading schedule. But if I only read for like an hour or so, at 8, I still have time to get to work before everything. But I love you guys. I don't have too much else to say. I did create a theme song for REL Reads Rainbows, so I'd love it if you guys would stay and give me your opinion on that. Listening through the window. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yes. Followed it okay. Badfish Bear said he followed it okay. Nice. Yippee! All right, so and then unofficial announcement that I will be doing a True Earth movie night in a couple of weeks. It's going to be Saturday nights. I don't know what time yet. I'm trying not to compete with other channels. But I want to watch the movies, and I figure y'all might want to watch the movies too. So, starting in April, we're gonna have movie nights, I believe, officially saying. And please join me on Sunday at 8 p.m. So this Sunday for Sisterhood of the Warrior Queens is going to be at 8 p.m. I think we're going to try to move it back from 4. A lot of people watch Globebusters, but not only that, I'm thinking the majority of my sister queens, are busy during the afternoons, unlike me. So we might be trying to have our streams a little bit later in the evening on Sunday evenings. But all right, so I think that's all of my announcements. I hope to see you guys in the chats sometime this week for, Iron REL Media and Awesome Austin and all the greats. I love you guys, and I will go ahead and play us out. Let me pray. So, just thank you to the creator of the universe for being a part of this stream today. Creator, I ask that you touch each and every person who can hear the sound of my voice, that you would wrap them in your loving kindness, that you would give them your favor and your peace. I know a lot of us are tired and weary from this journey, but just give us a refreshing day today, and remind us of how much joy we have every day. So you guys, I love you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember that the creator is with you. Roll some dice and make up your own fake space data. No, but really. All right. So you guys stay flat. Come back next week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, Oriori's Rainbows. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow, Oriori's Rainbows. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book,